Hey y'all, it's your boy, Chelsea Christ Incarnate, coming at you, your fellow transgendered starseed person. This avatar goes by Chelsea. I don't mind it, especially while I look like a Chelsea. All's well, that ends well. Alright, so I have a pick a card spread coming your way. Let's do that just for the traffic sound. Forgive the lighting. I pulled over at a spot to do some writing, and I felt very inspired to do a pick a card about what your higher self wants you to know. A check-in with your higher self. It's like a Legion soul. What best message would be best for you through that channeling. Alright, so we have the Shadowscape Tarot by Stephanie Poimula and Barbara Moore. We have Nature's Whispers by Angela Hartfield and Josephine Wall. And we have the Messenger Oracle by Ravine Felon. Right, if you would like to support the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Please get me on that algorithm. You can get in line for a healing Reiki session or a personal card reading with yours truly. Get a spot in Patreon for, it's like a Netflix monthly subscription in exchange for services that I do on the first of every month. And you can join me on Facebook and Instagram for free daily guidance. And if you want to support free channels and free guidance such as that, there's always energy exchange donations links, and all information to the services and descriptions of the services will be down below in the information box. Alright, I do realize that the lighting is not ideal, but we make do. Alright, I'm going to tilt you down so you can resonate with the message. 1, 2, and 3. Alright. Pause if you need some more time. I'm going to pop you back up. And we're going to get started with group 1. What is your higher self's message to you? Okay, this is a really exciting time in your life. 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords. So first of all, ascended steps. 4, 5. The number 31 for me has been popping up a lot recently, and it's about really rapid manifestation, about finally being on the right path with your imagination, ascension, and then new ways. So be spontaneous. I thought they were beeping at me for a minute. I think that there's just this person who uses this road to travel who recognizes me, probably because of this. Anyway, so be spontaneous, surrender to the flow, observe in silence, another number 31. Just saying. And love without condition. So that's what the number 31, though, is what this is about, the sword suit. All right, 4 of Swords and 5 of Swords. It's about setting certain thoughts to rest so that you can ascend in your thought scope. I'm not going to really hold these up. It's about me, the medium, right? I say the decks, you can look them up if you can't see them. But it's about that ascension. It's about forgiveness. It's setting down an old thought pattern so you can pick one back up. And when you pick one back up, it's going to exercise a different aspect of you and hurt a little bit. One way or another, there's this feeling in group 1's energy that in order to get out of this pain, in this state of lack or loss or frustration, whatever the case may be, you got to set it down, and you have to believe that the opposite of what you are experiencing is possible. The other end of the spectrum is possible for you. All right, your higher self wants you to know. Did you see my thumb? Your higher self needs you to know that nothing is unattainable. And if you dealt yourself a certain hand in the deck of life before you were born, if you were born under circumstances which you can't control, right? You're born under those circumstances to rise above, to make something out of it. That's the alchemy. That's the blessing. So be spontaneous. All right. You do not need to do anything outside of the norm. You just need to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone. This can be done in the solace of energy. Just switching your emotional, like, oh, I don't have to go down that familiar route. I can absolutely decide to feel a different way. That's the 5 of Swords, rising above. Ah! All right, so surrender to the flow. Observe in silence. See what happens when you just let go of control, when you follow what feels good, when you don't put pressure on yourself, when you don't blame yourself or the people around you. Don't put pressure or blame them. Forgiveness all the way around, because holla, love without condition. Loving without, there's your little fairy. Love without condition. That's simultaneous with surrender to the flow. You got to learn to let things go. You want to talk about a direct reflection? Not long ago, I'm always self-examining, right? And it dawned on me. It just, this van, since I've had it in my possession, the back just won't open. Like, it worked the first time, and I thought, oh, cool, my dog and I like, having the back open, we can put our feet out, we can get some air moving, but then it just stopped working, and it's never had that problem before. And I had the tiniest little bumper kiss, little love bump happen when I was arriving in LA in a panic. I have to find a job, I have to do this, I have to blah 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 blah, push, right? With a guy who his van was already dented up. He was like, I'm sorry, nothing really happened out of it. But since then, the hood doesn't close all the way. Now, I don't know if it was because of the love bump, but my front couldn't close and my back couldn't open. I couldn't close this, and my root was clogged. It was not open. A direct reflection of the past me that built these circumstances is clearly yelling, and that's this. Just observe what is going on in the flow and observe what happens from the flow, and know that you got flow. Love without condition. Do not put definitions on yourself, and really practice not putting them on other people first, so that it's easier not to do on yourself. It is a conditioning that you could do well to what? Unlearn and rise above. And so when you're calibrating to this sort of higher frequency, this be spontaneous, do something different. Do something that sparks joy. Do something that expands you beyond your comfort zone. Again, it doesn't have to be physical, but it very well could be as a direct reflection. There it is, y'all. Great message. Take care. Rock on. I love you for loving yourself. You know where to find me for future personal guidance along your ascension. Take care if you're popping off now. I love you to bits and pieces and back together again. I do. How do I add that in my mouthful of a goodbye? Anyway, I love you. Take care. Group 2, what does your higher self want you to know? That you have done a very diligent job of expanding your antenna into the ether and wrapping your intellect and allowing your other intelligence portals to catch up with something major in your world. And all you have to do now is expand your mind to see yourself as objectively as possible, so that you can have an aerial's bird view of things, an aerial view of you as your common denominator, your patterns, and you can easily see from that aerial perspective, that objective perspective, which direction to go down. King of Pentacles, Temperance, and Ten of Cups. So these three speaking, I know that the lighting sucks. These three speaking about you have this stability, you've worked really hard, you're on the pathway. So if you haven't seen it, you're going to, and appreciate the attitude of gratitude, right? Like, you have what you have, which is everything. And because it's to love what you already have is to love yourself as is as well. And that's what this Temperance is about. You don't want any negativity about. It's so simple, and yet people have such a hard time with it, myself included, for so long. Your outside world will reflect you. And I just told group 1 about a synchronicity, but seriously, your outside world is the past accumulation of you. This 3D world, we catch up to it in our ripple effects. So right now, that Temperance is really taking care of, can you see? It's taking care of your emotional business. And I'm sensing a weight dropped that was adding heaviness. It was knocking you off balance. That's all it was. And you're going through this process where letting things go feels good. 10 of Cups. You're way more stable now. You're way more stable in your emotional realm too. And this is a refreshing state, hence 10. It's the divine feminine and masculine side by side. It's a true rebirthing, and it allows for you to see people in a way that is non-tainted. It's non-judgmental. You're seeing people's strengths instead of their weaknesses because you're being gentler with yourself. That temperance, that 10 of Cups, that, what was the King of? The King of Pentacles. Seeing the world outside of yourself. That divine masculine knows that that's one of the shortest routes to understanding you. And challenging your perception. This card, I'm going to read it. Because why not? Ravine Felon is a beautiful messenger in and of her own right. So the number is 5, if that is synchronistic for you at all. You cannot challenge an outdated perception or one born from a lack of understanding if you are unwilling to put aside your feelings. Temperance. To put aside your feelings and... Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Put aside your feelings and embrace another's point of view. To do so makes you aware of the whole and stands you up on high, where you can see that both parties involved in a dispute can act against an injustice. Both can be right, both can be wrong, and that what one may perceive to be harmful may be seen as both healing and beneficial by the other. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I'm cute. Hey, I just saw me and I was like, oh. Don't you love that when that happens? All right, so anyway. Always use me as a conduit. Challenging your perception. How does spirit see you? All right, probably not nearly as harsh as you see you. And if you're having a dispute with someone, really do try to see their perspective of you. From there, you will be able to judge whether it's worth continuing this argument and trying to achieve a balance there, or if you can celebrate differences, like, can you let it go? Can you come to an understanding? Do you need to walk? No matter the case, though, celebrate differences. Oh, that's okay. They're not in my frequency. I'm not in their frequency. We can agree to disagree. And if you're in the workspace, it's much easier to just let bygones be bygones and you know, celebrate each other's differences and try to find a way to make that work in a stable manner. And that's walking on water energy. That's the 10 of Cups. It's not quite the Queen of Cups, but it's like learning how to be the Queen of Cups of like, I don't have to sink into this. I don't. I can always choose love, and I'm sensing that this is an aftermath of past recent emotional labor, and if you keep expanding the perception of yourself to a more legionized way, a more harmless way, a more angelic and gentle way about your own self, I mean, this is just going to snowball, and there's going to be more for you to celebrate. Because when you allow for differences outside of yourself to such a high degree, it's that kind of energy that will allow universe. It's allowing you to let universe bring you whatever. You know, it's like, I'm not attached to nothing. Oh, okay, I guess this is for me then. I will take it with a grateful heart. I just heard very clearly. Alrighty, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for letting me be your channeler. Take care, rock on. I love you to bits and pieces and back together again, and I love you for loving yourself. You know where to find me for future or personal guidance along your ascension. You know where to find me. Take care if you're popping off now. All right, group 3. You had a lot of cards come out from the Shadowscapes. Hold on. What does your higher self want you to know? Three of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, Ace of Cups. Pause and share your thoughts. This pause needs to happen. Sorry, the lighting, I had a ray of sunshine. Pause. And I mentioned the decks, you can look them up later. This is all about the Three of Swords, the Three of Wands energy. Reflect, dream, trust. Because when it comes to your physical reality, you're just beginning to feel how your frequency co-creates, and you are feeling right now, I'm sensing that this group is a little frustrated with their current 3D circumstances. Pause and take a look at how far you've come as a person. Now is an excellent time to take a look at the reflection, because if what you want from the 3D reality is if you want different things, if you want better things or more things, you have to feel it first. Now this card has a connotation to it which is ringing true in this context. That it's a very slow energy. Now is not the time to move forward. It is not the like this person. This is a time to set up camp, to digest, to rest, to reflect, to share story. You cannot satisfy this itch right now, whatever you have on your mind, because if you did that, you'd be setting yourself up for failure, essentially. You would need rest along the way. You need to do these things anyway. You need to experience linear time and all you've accumulated up until this point. All right, so don't push forward. Allow the past to catch up with you so that you can learn how and why everything is happening, because only you do what you do in the way that you do it. Hold on. Go away. Seven of Swords. Sometimes it's seen as a sneaky energy. I see it as a major responsible energy. So you are responsible if you're gonna are you gonna stay in the same realm, or are you gonna start fresh with these two aces? The Ace of Swords in that thought realm. All right, only you can do this, and I'm sensing that there's a need for a shift into a new gear, a higher frequency. There's a lot of lineage and family psychology and culture and a lot that has tried to make you a certain way, but there's a resistance to that, and that's a good thing. Share your thoughts, inspire. Share your, is a very big dragon. Hold on. Yes. Okay, so share your thoughts. Cause some disturbance, because you can believe in your intellect. You can believe that your emotions are valid. And when that happens, there's this beautiful magic that's very you can't produce anything in the world if you don't believe in yourself. And if you share your thoughts, if you do believe in yourself enough to share your thoughts and they're not well received, first of all, that's your fear, and that doesn't have to exist anymore, because the past does not have to repeat itself, which is what's preventing you from sharing your thoughts and making this a sort of scary process. You don't know. This is risky business. This Three of Pentacles feels like, I don't know, I'm starting though, you can't know until you try. You and me in spirit makes three. So you got to trust spirit enough to try and hope that the third element of this braid of a relationship will be worth the effort. But again, don't push. Pause. Hold on. There you go. I know you only get a flash of it, but pause to speak your mind and to allow time for a calibration to this energy of really not being afraid to lose people. If you don't share your thoughts, you're never going to meet people who agree with you. And how do you know that the people around you already don't? You don't. risk. That's the thing about this Ace of Cups. Like, there ain't no shame or no pain, no gain. Especially in ethereal worlds such as emotions. All right, no pain, no gain, and it's nothing. It's a game. It's nothing to be scared about. You can handle anything. That's another thing about this Ace of Cups. Like, on a higher frequency, when you have follow through of your intellect space backing up this, like, oh, I actually am, I'm good, I'm a conduit of love, I'm learning how to be. I feel like this group doesn't believe that they are. Doesn't believe that they're a very spiritual being, or hasn't seen the proof, or you doubt your power. And that's what you need to pause on, because, like, look how far you've come. Look at what you've co-created. Only you can do what you do in the way that you do it. So take responsibility in divine guidance in your thinking. You know, our thought realm, our mind is an infinite universe in which anything can be downloaded. And you're responsible for clicking yes to certain terms and conditions, or which game you want to play, how you want to see the world. You're in control of the settings. And despite what you believe, that's what you want to put a pause on. You are worth listening to. You are worthy of causing a disturbance in the force. Especially in this landscape of thought and emotion. Nope, that's it. All right. There it is, y'all. Take care, rock on. I love you for loving yourself. I love you to bits and pieces and back together again. You know where to find me for future or personal guidance along your ascension. Take care.